CrossLife kids.
Greta, Caroline.
Yes, ma'am.
Come on in. Okay. Mamas sometimes have to have a secret stash of chocolate, and they don't always share because it helps them through the day. But I'm gonna share some of my stash. Okay? Would y'all like some of this?
Yes.
Okay, but you have, okay, I'm gonna give you 7 things to do. And if you do those 7 things, you can have a bowl full of this, okay? So the first 7 lists, and it's not gonna be easy things, but it's gonna be worth it. I want y'all to do 7 push-ups. All right. Okay, now that's your first thing. Your second thing is you're gonna have to run down the hill and back.
Go.
Okay, I want you to do 3 jumping jacks right there. That's nothing after all that. So come on. 1, 2, 3. Okay, now sit down and do 5 sit-ups. You're on your 4th thing.
I can't do sit-ups. Oh, it's easy right here.
Well, you gotta use the little shorts, huh, and pull yourself up.
Ow, 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 my spine, my spine. Ow, 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 ow. Does that count?
Now I want you to run in place. This will be your 5th thing. All right. Okay, so now I want you to hop on 1 foot. This will be your 6th thing you have to do.
I'm doing it on my tippy toes. So extra.
And your 7th thing that you have to do to work towards a bowl of M&Ms is I want you to go clean your room, and while you're doing that, I'll put some of the M&Ms in a bowl for you, okay? Ready? Go! You girls worked really hard, and I do love these. They help me be a good mama during the day. All that chocolate. And you worked really hard. You did 7 things and you're exhausted. So hard, I'm gonna give you each a little bit of lettuce as your reward.
Yeah.
How's that?
But don't we get M&Ms?
Oh, you want some of these?
Yeah.
Yeah, you said we could get M&Ms.
Oh, well, you have to work and do 7 more things first.
7 more things, but we already did 7 things. You said we
Yeah.
only had to do 7 things, not 14.
Well, I changed my mind. You've got 7 more things to do.
But you promised us you can't change your mind.
Nope. All right. Hey, CrossLife kids. As you just saw in the video, Greta and Caroline had to work and do 7 things in order for me to give them some chocolate. And those were 7 things that made them really tired. After they did those 7 things, though, I did not give them the chocolate. I made them do 7 more things. As you're about to see in the story, you're going to hear about a true man who lived, whose name was Jacob. And he didn't just do 7 things, he worked 7 years. So watch the video and listen to the story of what happened in his life.
I'm Miss Christine, and I'm excited to read the story for you all this week. We are reading about Jacob and Rachel. So after his dream, Jacob continued his journey to the land of his relatives, where he would look for a wife. When he was getting close to the land of Laban, his uncle, he saw a well where shepherds were gathering. They were waiting until all the flocks arrived. Then they would roll a large stone from the opening of the well and water their sheep. Jacob walked up to them and asked if they knew a man named Laban. The shepherds answered, "Yes, here comes his daughter Rachel with his sheep." When Jacob saw the beautiful Rachel coming to water her father's flock, he went to the large stone and rolled it away all by himself. He gave water to Rachel's sheep, kissed her, and told her who he was. Rachel ran back to her father, who welcomed Jacob as part of the family. Jacob remained with his uncle Laban and worked for him. Laban had 2 daughters. Leah was the older one and could not see very well. Rachel was the younger daughter and was very beautiful. After months of work, Laban said he wanted to pay Jacob for his work, but Jacob didn't want any money. He wanted Rachel as his wife. Jacob loved Rachel, and he said, "I will serve you 7 years for your younger daughter Rachel." Laban agreed. Jacob worked for 7 years, but the time passed quickly because he loved Rachel so much. When the 7 years were over, Laban held a wedding feast. But instead of giving Rachel to Jacob as his wife, Laban deceived him. That means he tricked him. That evening, he gave Jacob his older daughter Leah as his bride instead, and Jacob did not notice. The next morning, when it was light, Jacob saw that he had been tricked. He argued with Laban. "What have you done to me? I wanted to marry Rachel, not Leah." Laban told Jacob, "In our country, it's tradition for the older daughter to be married first, but you can marry Rachel too, if you work another 7 years. When Jacob lived at home, he had deceived his father to get his brother's blessing. Now he was the one who had been deceived and tricked by his uncle Laban. Jacob married Rachel and worked for Laban another 7 years. He loved Rachel, but he did not love Leah, which made her very sad. The Lord saw this and blessed Leah with children first, but Rachel remained barren, without children of her own. Leah named her 4th son Judah. She would have been very happy if she had known just how special Judah was. You see, Jesus would someday be born from Judah's family line. Jesus is called the Lion of the tribe of Judah. This reminds us that God is always at work, even when people like Laban scheme and lie. Laban's tricks did not interrupt God's plan. All along, God planned for his son Jesus to be born through one of Leah's children. So we have some important teaching points we want to go over to make sure you understand the story. So the first one is that Jacob searched for a wife. We see in this that once again, God is working all things according to his plan for the good of his people. So we want to pause and let you discuss with your family how you see God working in your life. Here is another question. Do you remember when Jacob tricked his father and stole his brother's blessing? Well, in this story, we see that Jacob learns what it feels like to be tricked. So pause the video and discuss with your family, how does God use our mistakes to teach us? And finally, how does this true Bible story fit into God's greater plan of redemption?